Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Chris the Dace Man Dace, bringing you another edition of the Dace Man Show here on MegaPowersRadio.com on Blog Talk Radio. Tonight, we have a jammed-packed show for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a special guest from USA Networks. Oh, Gibby, you there? Gibby?
Wait. Why is there a crazy echo?
I do not know. This is a good way to start the show, huh? You hear an echo still? It's
like time delayed. I don't understand what the hell's going on. All right, never mind. Keep going.
All right, well, bit of snafu there, but we're back on track. Huge show for tonight. I got Brian Gibson here, my co-host, my good friend, and we got a star-packed lineup tonight because we got an interview from USA Network Summer Camp, Chris Grant. So, we also have tickets to give away for the Backstreet Boys at the Susquehanna Bank Center August 16th. But let's roll right into the thing and start off with our weird news of the week. First story that we like to talk about tonight, Gibby, is Troy Walker, a professional bowler, had a blown perfect game when the racking mechanism triggered and blocked his ball from hitting the pins. In a do-over shot, he unfortunately only finished his game with a .297. That sucks balls. Gibby?
That's just the way God tells you. Not today.
No, not in my house.
Exactly. Not today, man, not today.
In other weird news, an Australian woman was caught up in a scam, and this story is horrible because if I was this woman, I'd be extremely pissed off. But at the same time, it's hilarious from an outside perspective. For paying $1,200 for 2 apples. Why did she pay $1,200 for 2 apples? Because she thought they were 2 iPhones. Met up with a lady in the parking lot, exchanged the box, got home, opened the box, and found 2 apples. So she got what she paid for.
To get home. Oh my God!
What idiot buys iPhones in the middle of a parking lot when you could go to the store for the same price? $1,200 for 2 iPhones, and you get 2 apples.
What was it, made of gold? Jesus Christ.
If I'm the guy that pulled that scam off, that would be fantastic.
Exactly.
There's no way. At this time, joining us here on Mega Powers Radio and the Dace Man Show, Mr. Mike Payton. How are you, sir?
What I want to know is, did she get the Apple Care protection plan?
She probably took it to the geniuses and said, I think there's something wrong with this phone.
Oh, man.
I mean, to fall into that scam, I didn't read on to see what happened and how she, I guess, reconciled this. But for $1,200, that is 2 very expensive apples.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of that, that radio show that was promoting that if you call in, you win the contest, you get a Toyota. Mm-hmm. And everyone was thinking it was like an actual Toyota car, but here it's actually a Toyota, like from Star Wars.
Oh, that's really funny.
That's the person that won was pissed.
I don't know. I'd be kind of happy with it, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that concludes our weird news, from at least on my part. Do you guys have any stories that you'd like to throw in there?
No.
No? Another story that actually was brought to my attention while I was out running today. Sharknado has actually come to fruition as a shark was found on the streets of New York underneath somebody's Jeep tire.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it was found in New York subways. Like in the New York tunnel system, there was a shark underneath the guy's tire when he got out of the car, which I think is, crazy.
Yeah.
So he ran a shark over?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He thought.
I could just imagine, get out like, what the hell did I just hit in this crummy-ass city? Get out and see a shark and be like, no one's going to believe this. No one. So, if you want to join in on the conversation, call us at 760-512-7247. Once again, that's 760-512-7247. Like I said, we have a jam-packed show tonight. We've got Chris Grant joining us a little later in the show, talk about USA Summer Camp, and we have Backstreet Boys tickets to give away later tonight in a contest. Another story that's just been brought to my attention by Mr. Gibby. A man was arrested after calling 911 to report wrong McDonald's order. He claims he went in to order 7 McDoubles and 1 McChicken and 1 fry. When he got to his truck and got ready to leave, he looked in the bag to find out he had 6 McDoubles. So he called the officers in Albany, Georgia.
Oh my God!
Only in the South.
And did they respond?
Yeah. They arrested him.
They arrested him?
Yeah, they arrested him because he abused the 911 service. So they arrested him for it. Took him to jail and everything.
Did he even get to eat his McDoubles?
I would say no.
The cops probably took him and ate him.
Oh, my God.
They're like, well, if he doesn't want him, we'll take him.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's 6 of them. There's plenty of them for us to.
Or obviously, we have to arrest this guy. I'm hungry.
Or it gets locked up in evidence and he gets it the next morning. That would piss me off to no extent.
Yeah.
Like, here's your stuff back, sir. You had 1 wallet, 6 McDoubles, 1 large fry, and $30. It's a hell of a story.
Yeah.
We're rolling on. We're going to go into sports news, and something that's dominated ESPN, Sports Center, Yahoo News, all those things. 12 MLB players were suspended due to the biogenesis scandal. A-Rod was the 13th name presented, but he has appealed the 211-game suspension that was handed to him, and he is still actively playing until they get together and I guess have their little baseball court. And the only question I have to ask before we go ahead and list the players that were involved in this scandal is, do you think if he's convicted, A-Rod's out of the Hall of Fame?
I would say he's probably, his thing is tarnished now. I question if he's even going to be able to get into the Hall of Fame, even if he successfully beats this. Because, this is one of them. Getting, one of these things put up against you, especially to the extent that he's getting it, I feel like it's pretty much just going to plague you to where, it's going to be tough. And if they actually do suspend him, I don't see any way. Because, you can just look at Pete Rose, who obviously should be in the Hall of Fame and is not. And his biggest violation was betting that he was going to win the game.
Following up a little bit of what Gibby was saying there, a popular phrase you always hear when people are speaking of law is innocent until proven guilty. But when you're a celebrity and you're under the public eye in these kinds of things, even if you are proven innocent in the court of law, your judgment is going to be whatever people decide for you, and that's going to hold going forward. Just look at what happened with George Zimmerman. Shown innocent in the court of law, but everyone else in the world will call him guilty for the rest of his days.
For sure. And the other 12 that were listed, and I'll go through the list in just a moment, they immediately said, yeah, you're right. You got me. And they took the suspensions. Some of those names on the list are Nelson Cruz from the Texas Rangers, Johnny Peralta from the Detroit Tigers, Everett Cabrera from the San Diego Padres, Jesus Montero from Seattle Mariners, Francisco Cervelli from the New York Yankees, Fernando Martinez from the New York Yankees, Cesar Puello from the New York Mets, Jordan Roberto, who is currently a free agent, Fuente de los Santos, who is also a free agent. This one hurt our local team. Antonio Bastardo from the Philadelphia Phillies, Jordany Valdespin from New York Mets, and lastly, Sergio Escalano from the Houston Astros. And those were the 12 names that came up and were handed suspensions. I know specifically Antonio Bastardo got a 50-game suspension, and I think that pretty much runs out his contract.
So, well, first off, I have a couple questions here. One, aside from A-Rod, are any of these actually big-name players? I haven't kept up with baseball in 10 years. Are these guys of any importance that it's going to hurt being away?
These were no names that struck me as oh my God, I can't believe that person's on there. The only one that got me was Antonio Bastardo because I follow the Phillies day by day. So he's one of our relief pitchers. But for the rest of them, 2 of them are free agents. Currently aren't signed to a team.
Yeah.
And my other question was, A-Rod, he's facing something like a 200-game suspension, isn't he? Why is his so much higher?
Because I think he's the front runner in this all, and has. Go ahead.
Basically, what it is they got him for impeding on the investigation and lying about it. every single one of these players, the reason why they go, yes, I did, I'm guilty, not going to argue it, is because the commissioner said it's a 50-game suspension. If you deny it and or fight it, they're going to ban you for the next year as well. Mm-hmm. So all of them are just saying, well, screw it, I'll just take the 50-game suspension instead of basically all next year as well. He's the only one, but his was, he was trying to prevent it from actually becoming known, and they got him on record of, well, apparently have him on record for it, so that's why they immediately gave him a higher one, and now he's appealing it, which I'm sure is, I don't see how he's going to win it, but
it's got us, we're pretty butthurt about it.
From all the injections in the ass, that's why I figured it would come into. But 211 is a lot, but I mean they do play 162 games a year or something like that, and then if you go to the postseason, I think it's even more. And the Yankees are a good team that ends up there almost every year. I don't know if they're going to make it this year, but
do the postseason games actually count towards a suspension though? I think it would only count for regular season games.
I would imagine.
Has to sit out the,
because we all know the Houston Astros are not going to make it to the postseason anytime soon. So it'd be a little unfair that 50 games to him could be something different to someone who's on the Rangers, who most likely will go to, or the Detroit Tigers, whoever will most likely end up back at the World Series. Guy. All of them are 50 games because I believe that's how many games are left until I think they all come off of suspension the last day of baseball, basically. Maybe it does include it includes the postseason then. No, because they can all play the first game in postseason. That's why there was that crazy buy where people were buying up people to fill in the people who are getting caught in the scandal, just so that they have them, because they'll get them back for the postseason, but they're not going to have them for basically the rest of the regular season. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Remember, guys, if you want to join in on the call, weigh in on this sports matter, the number is 760-512-7247, or you can just join us on Blog Talk Radio /Megapowers Radio. And you can check us out on the chat room, chat with us up on there, call in at 760-512-7247, and give us your input. Like I said, a little bit later in the show, we're going to have USA Network's Chris Grant from summer camp, and he'll be stopping by to talk to us a little about his show and what's going on with him. First, cool. So just got the information. Yes, we're looking around the 8:30 time slot for when Chris Grant will be here, hopefully give or take. We'll keep you posted when he actually gets here, but let's move on with sports news. The Dallas Cowboys went head-to-head with Miami Dolphins in preseason action Sunday, winning 24-20. Tony Romo suited up but did not play. This came to a shock to Gibby. He didn't realize the season had actually started. Yeah, I would have sworn it was this week. I would have watched it if I knew it was last week. Pretty sure the Eagles start this week. I guess maybe it's, I don't know, different for everybody. Probably a game a week. Well, no, they all play 4 postseason or preseason games. No. Well, the weeks they played Sunday, or wait, did I say they played? Yeah, they played Sunday, so Sunday began the week. Okay, I see what you're saying. But yeah, then the Eagles play Friday, and I'm pretty sure. Well, you know what? I keep saying pretty. Let's use the power of Google. Peyton, you're a big football fan. Are you excited for the season starting up?
What on earth gave you the impression that I was a big football fan?
I have no idea.
Facetious?
Let's go with facetious, because I don't want to look like an idiot.
Okay, I know absolutely nothing about football. As a matter of fact, I don't think there could be a sport in the world that I am least interested in than football. You may be confusing me with Brandon, who is an enormous football fan, enormous sports fan in general. Aside from wrestling, I can't say I'm really into any sports besides baseball, which, like I said, was years ago. Yeah. I try to push off the football talk because I don't watch it either. I know Gibby does. Gibby only does for the fact that he started gambling on it. Yo, come on. Fantasy football is not gambling. Did you win money? Of course. I won first my league, goddammit. Oh, good. I know what I'm doing. I can crunch numbers. Okay? And that's why you're interested in football now. Shh, don't tell anybody. So did you find out when the Eagles are playing so we could tell our audience that probably already knows? Yeah. It's the 9th. It's exactly August 9th. It's a Friday. It's a 7:30 game. I could technically have tickets for it, but I do not want to go to an actual game. And that is their first game. Thanks for the info. Now I'm looking up the Dallas Cowboys. And you're right.
Told
they
you.
did have a game. Why did they have 5 preseason games? What the hell happened there? HOF?
Because the Dolphins in Dallas sucked so bad last year, they need to try one more day.
Oh, man. Okay.
Remember, you can weigh in on the conversation. We have any Dolphins fans out there. 760-512-7247, hashtag Chuck. So we'll keep moving on with sports. Dolphins, Dallas suck, and it was a close game. That's what happens.
Thrown that in there.
Well, they do. I heard they have pretty cool jerseys, so at least they'll look good when they go out on the field.
What? No way. They are disgusting. Oh, my God.
I don't know.
You don't actually watch football. I shouldn't really be shocked in that response.
Hey, I watch cheerleading. That occurs at football.
Well, that's a good... Yeah, but that happens at a lot of... That hasn't happened in baseball, does it? Damn. Never mind.
They got the fanatic that strips, and that green guy doesn't really do it for me. Moving on, staying within the football realm, Cooper from the Philadelphia Eagles returned to practice this week after his little incident he had in the media, where he ran his mouth, said something to a security guard that he would beat them all up using very nasty terms, and is in the same group as Paula Dean. It completely blew up, and he had to go to classes and get right with God or whatever the hell he had to do. But I know it blew up big, and I'd be scared. He's going back to a team that's predominantly black.
And it's like, what can you do? Ask your coach to get traded to somebody? The whole league's predominantly black.
He'd have to get traded to Canada to play in the CFL. That's the only way he would have some protection.
Oh, man.
I just can't believe he came out with that at a concert. I can understand you get heated, and we've talked about this before on the show, but to drop that word is completely unnecessary, especially since at least the video I saw, the security guard that was telling him to go away was white. So
yeah, I know. That's the craziest thing.
It just didn't make any sense to me. So,
to be honest, how do you not... it's one of his friends... guys just thought it was crazy. One of his friends was the one taking the video. Why would they...
Post it and get him in trouble.
I don't even know what to say. It's is that the kind of people you really want to hang out with? None of them have brains. Well, they're football players. None of them have brains. But, man, I just dug myself a hole there.
Yeah, there's a lot of football players getting in trouble these days. The one that murdered somebody, Aaron Hernandez, has been on the show we've talked about on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
Now this foul-mouthed Philadelphia Eagle, which, the city of brotherly love. This is a great place to do that at. And there was another guy from the New York Jets, I think, that he just got arrested in Jersey. And I only briefly glanced at the story. I was like, you know what?
Right?
Yeah, I was like, there's
speeding, regular speeding, over 100 speeding.
Yeah,
what were you doing?
Vehicular manslaughter.
Yeah, and he hit somebody too. Yeah, that was just. Some people don't think. They're football players.
Yeah.
The one that gets me all the time though is when they get in trouble for any sports. Is when they get in trouble for alcohol-related instances where they're drunk driving or mainly drunk driving, because they literally in their contract. They usually have a valet service that they can call to get picked up. Not only is it in their contract, the football union that they have has a service to come and literally pick your ass up, and yet they still think they can drive.
Oh, it makes sense. You play 20 games a week, a year, and if that, and I would be getting trashed every day because you get paid ridiculous amount of money to play football.
You can hire your own guy to drive your own service to drive you around. You even it is just really? You can hire your own driver. You don't even have to make your own food. You can hire your own chef. You can hire your own cleaning crew. What are you doing? And yet you're getting in freaking trouble for that one gets me because it happens every year, and it's always around towards the end of the year, and it's usually a team that's losing. And they always get caught, and it's just, and the thing that drives me crazy also is they always get a slap on the friggin' wrist too, which is just oh my God.
Oh yeah. Speaking of DUIs, we'll keep on this topic. I wasn't going to really talk about it because I'm sure it'll be covered on Keeping Kayfabe and it'll be covered on Smack Talk. Kurt Angle recently got a DUI and he was being entered into rehab, and I don't know how, this is his 5th one.
It's his fourth, but that's still an extremely high number. And especially when he's spoken about how remorseful he was for this before. I believe it was actually on his second one, which was 2 of them ago. He did this big crying interview about how it's ruined his life and his wife was leaving him and it's taking down his career and all these other things. And yet he's still done it twice.
Yeah.
And now he's going to rehab on WWE's dime, and everything's just going to be considered okay. I mean, you were talking about just slaps on the wrist. That's basically what this is going to make this. He's not going to have to go to jail. He's not going to have to pay outrageous fines. He's just going to go to rehab, and everything's pretty much going to be forgotten about.
You're saying that WWE is paying for it, even though he works for TNA?
I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. WWE pays for any rehab, even if you're working for the competition. I feel like they did that for someone else.
I know they did it for Maven. I don't know if he was working for TNA at the time, but they did it for him. They do it for Sunny every other week.
No, they cut her off finally.
Yeah, there you go. They just every time I read the dirt sheets, it's like, oh well, WWE is paying for another Sunny rehab stint. I'm glad they're not the government, because I'd be so pissed if my tax dollars were putting that bitch in rehab. Just seems like she's in there all the time and never gets better. Although, knock on wood, recently I haven't heard anything about her. She seems to be doing good. But you can catch.
She is doing that great event down in New Jersey where fans can pay $75 to get a picture of them spooning with her under sheets.
Oh yeah. I remember that post. Yes, I may or may not do that.
Let's go. What are we waiting for?
But here comes the cheap plug. You can always check out all wrestling news on Keeping Kayfabe Thursday nights.
Thursday nights at 9 p.m. here on Mega Powers Radio. That's the Thursday Night Wars. We're going head-to-head with TNA. So since Kurt Angle's not going to be there, there's absolutely no reason to watch that show, because you certainly don't want to watch Tito Ortiz. So tune in here to Mega Powers Radio for Keeping Kayfabe Live, 9 p.m. every Thursday. And
you can check out Smack Talk on YouTube or smarkoutmoment.com. And you can check it out. I believe we post it every Friday or Saturday early morning. Saturday it's up. It's up on the site by Saturday. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just recently had a successful live show here on Mega Powers Radio, didn't he?
Yes, it went very successful. It set a lot of records for the station, and from what I understand, he'll be returning back probably about once every season.
I like it. I like it a lot. Cool. Well, that does it for our sports section, so let's roll right on to celebrity news. Remember, you can always call in at 760-512-7247. Jam-packed show tonight. Chris Grant from USA Network Summer Camp will be joining us momentarily, but we're going to run down celebrity news right now. First and foremost, in celeb news this week, Amanda Bynes, as we all know, went under the 5150 into a medical treatment center and has apparently been given a cocktail of medications. And after she's taking these medications, she's fine. The doctors believe she has severe schizophrenia, and even though she's demanding her release on what was supposed to be a 2-day stint, it has now been expanded to, they've taken it to court to try to expand it to 2 weeks. But from what it sounds like, the medication is actually working.
That's good for her. I mean, if that's what her problem is, it's good that they caught it. I'm shocked that somebody with her caliber took her that long to actually have someone look at her like that and figure out what's wrong with her. I mean,
from what I understand, she's still denying that she doesn't have a mental illness. That's why she's trying to leave. And the doctors fear that as soon as she steps foot out of the place, she'll stop taking the meds and then set her driveway on fire again.
I mean, it gets to that point. It's like, if they don't want help, what can you really do? I mean, are you going to keep her in prison for the rest of her life because she doesn't want to admit it? I mean, that goes into like a whole other spectrum of, I guess, thought. I don't know.
True.
It's hard to talk. I mean, I know, but some people, it's a classic case of like people who are alcoholics. Like, they're an alcoholic, they just don't want to admit it, keep doing it, and doing it, and doing it, and they do it till they die. And it's just
Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, I mean, you can't change somebody, and it's no matter how long you keep them locked up. I mean, the moment you let them go, they're gone. They're gonna do what they want to do. I mean, not unless you have somebody there spoon feeding them the entire time.
And that's the course that the doctors are trying to take with her right now, with her at the medical facility, to convince her that, yes, you have a mental illness, it's very serious, and you need to take care of it. Speaking of other people who are apparently getting back on the right track, Lindsay Lohan, which I know, right? I never expected to say this, is banning alcohol from every place that she goes/stays. So she's staying at a hotel, she calls in advance and says, look, clear the room. She has all her parents clear the houses of alcohol. Anytime she's on set for something, they clear the alcohol, and she seems to be doing fairly well. I know she's got that gig where she's currently hosting it while someone's away. I don't know what the show is, but she's hosting it, and she seems to be doing fairly well.
Cool.
Yep.
I don't know what to say to it, so I'm sorry.
It only took, 4 or 5 years for her to get together and...
Well, this could also be temporary. I mean, how many times did we see Jake the Snake Roberts clean up his act and then fall back off the wagon?
Well played, sir. That, or she's realizing that the money is drying up fast because nobody wants to work with her, except Charlie Sheen.
That's good company, right?
Zone! Oh, good company, huh? You say so.
You never know. Other news for celebrity news, Simon Cowell has been all over every internet celebrity page out there with this whole affair that he had with his friend's wife, who is now carrying his baby, and now the husband of that wife is like, I ain't giving her a dime, and it's been every other story on celebrity news has been Simon Cowell. What are your thoughts?
Oh, God. That
was a very damned up response.
I don't know. I wish I understood how he was even popular. I mean, he was. Oh my God, he's a complete dick on the show. Like it's.
Well, that's the same reason people like Gordon Ramsay. It's just British people who are dicks seem to like resonate with American citizens.
Where's the British guy when we need him? I need to talk.
Oh, Burhan. He is off frolicking in London.
He's away on assignment.
He's away on assignment. Hopefully he'll be back next week. Best of luck of where you're frolicking. I don't know what to say. It sucks we didn't get to use the "You're from London" clip this week.
Exactly. What's going on here?
It's throwing the whole show off, the whole vibe. Hayden, any thoughts on this whole Simon Cowell situation?
No. This is 2 weeks in a row now. We're talking about American Idol judges. Isn't that what we were talking about, what's his name, Randy Travis last week?
Yeah, we were. He had just recently got out, he got out of the hospital. He was having heart problems or something.
And he's still doing better than Simon Cowell, it sounds.
Yes.
He's being in the hospital for heart problems.
Yeah, Cowell is being raked over the coals right now. In other celebrity news, we've got a story that we talked about on a previous show. Lady Gaga was trying to suppress documents from her ex-boyfriend and his a female friend from the past. The courts have ruled in her favor, and they have successfully suppressed those documents, meaning the public will never know her secret. And apparently the ex-boyfriend had just as much to lose from it, from what I had read. So he's happy it's suppressed. It's the third-party female that is, like, livid. She cannot bring this to the surface. So my guess is either A, she did have a penis at one point, which breaks my heart, or B, that third female wrote the songs.
So wait, why aren't they allowed to bring this out? Isn't there a thing called the First Amendment?
Court put a ban on them, said it would, because Lady Gaga presented it to the court that it would in fact damage her personal and professional life to the point of no repair.
So can we just use an excuse when, like, the police want to arrest us for something? Like, no, you can't arrest me. That's going to ruin my personal and professional life.
No, I completely agree.
Where's the line drawn on this? I don't get it.
Well, yeah, I think it's to the point where you're a celebrity, and then you can have pretty much anything happen. Because I couldn't tell you the other two people's names. I've read the story like 3 or 4 times, and I did not remember their name. And it sucks because, like you said, it's like stamping on their rights, and she has every right, especially if she's one who wrote the song, or it's something that, like, she got snubbed by Lady Gaga. She has every right in the world to present her case to the world.
I mean, I kind of. It really, I feel like it really depends on what it is. Like, and I mean, we can speculate and talk about it all we want, but without actually knowing what the detail is, it's kind of hard to say whether or not the judge is correct or incorrect here.
Well, if it's a personal attack on Lady Gaga that has something to do with her personal life and has nothing to do like with a business, professional, or anything with that other third party, and that third party just wants to share a story to get her 50 minutes of fame, good call on the judge's part. If it's something that impacted that third party, which, like I said, we said was pure speculation, it's a shame that she won't be able to get her voice heard. So unless we knew the judge heard what the details were and decided, nope, this will not go to the public. So
I wonder if she's getting some kind of like hush money out of this at least.
I would think so, because
I think that would come to light if she was.
I mean, if she speaks, I don't think they'll throw her in jail. I think the worst thing she would get would be a fine.
Yeah, she would get. Well, to be honest, I have no idea what would happen in that scenario.
Nope.
Because in theory, you're right. She broke what the judge said.
To me, it's just the contempt of court, and then it would be a fine. It could be like a day or two in jail, and to her, it may be worth it. So if it's worth it to her, there may have been hush money in it.
Yeah.
Again,
it could really depend on what it is.
Oh, for sure. Once again, if you want to chime in, speak your mind on the celebrity news we're talking about this week, the number is 760-512-7247 here on Mega Powers Radio. We're running down celebrity news, waiting on our guest, Chris Grant, to call in from USA Network Summer Camp tonight. Let's keep rolling on with our news. Another celebrity news tidbit, Terrence Howard was accused of beating his ex-wife. And later, after these accusations came out, a photo surfaced where she has a nice shiner on her right eye. And from what I understand, Terrence Howard is saying she's lying, she's framing me, blah, blah, blah. She's trying to make me a public enemy so she gets money. The ex-wife is like, look at my face. Thoughts?
Were the cops called?
That I don't know. I would imagine no.
I mean it's if the cops aren't called, then I would say she's probably setting it up. I mean, if the cops were called, then it's obviously he's just trying to save face. That's what it's coming down to.
I don't know how to really go about that. I mean, we've heard stories like this all the time where cops are brought into domestic disputes and there was absolutely no reason for it. And oftentimes the women will make up some kind of injury, and the men will do this too. I don't want to sound sexist with this. The men will do it as well, and just to make it seem like it was a bigger thing than it was. We have a very close personal friend of the show, actually, and I don't want to say any names, but was in a very similar situation where the cops were called to his house and there was nothing going on. So what the woman did is she bit her lip as hard as she could. It's like, look, I have a bloody lip. And after an hour or so of medical personnel inspecting her, they realized no, she wasn't hit. She just bit her lip, and it just made the situation worse for everybody, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I could see it going either way. I mean, does he have it really comes down to if he has a history of it. Also, I mean, I feel like in a lot of cases it could be just somebody just trying to get money from somebody, and like he said, I mean, it could be man, woman, child. I mean, everyone's pretty much guilty of it at some point in time.
Oh, for sure. And from what I've read, that he sucker punched her, walked to his table, looked at two curved knives, glared at her, and that was pretty much the end of it. So I don't think the cops were called. Ladies and gentlemen, just got word. Joining us at this time from USA Network's Summer Camp, Mr. Chris Grant. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hello. What's going on, people?
Hey. Glad that you could join us tonight. I must say, I've been watching the show, and I think I enjoy watching it, and you were by far my favorite character, especially after all that's transpired over the last 4 episodes.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. I'm just trying to give people a clear vision of what I do and who I am,
Yeah, for sure. In the first episode, and they show it every once in a while, you were introduced as the class clown. Could you elaborate a little why they would call you the class clown?
Oh yeah. I was very aware that when I was growing up, I was very insecure with myself, and I found that laughter was what made me more secure with myself. And so when I found that I could make people laugh at what I say and what I do, and even just my facial expressions, I took that and I ran with it. I said, if I can't look good, well, hell, I'm gonna make sure I sound good. You know what I'm saying? So I just did that, and I carried it with me all the way through my life. And now I'm a teacher, and I do it with my kids all the time, and we have a great time.
For sure. We here at Mega Powers Radio, we've been following your posts on Facebook, and recently on Monday Night Raw when your show made the move to 11:05, we've seen that you were a little upset that you weren't invited to Monday Night Raw to help promote the show. Would a career in sports entertainment be something you would like to seek sometime down the line?
I mean, I've always watched wrestling. When I was a little boy, I used to watch wrestling all the time. And I stopped watching wrestling when The Rock left. And things just got weird when, like, John Cena came along. And I just thought, what the hell has happened to wrestling? What the hell has happened to sports entertainment? Never in my life have I heard Stone Cold or The Rock get in the ring and say, if you don't like the flavor of my cereal. I said, what the hell was that, man?
For sure. They have definitely taken that PG curve, which is a little weird. Because everybody here at the Mega Powers radio station are huge wrestling fans, and we noticed that you were posting about it. We're like, oh, well, he's got a physical education background, and he seems to be a wrestling fan. Could we see a future World Heavyweight Champion brewing on USA Network?
Hey, Chris, this is Mike Payton, by the way. Oh, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What I was saying was, look here, man, if I ever had the chance to get up in the WWE and put in some work, listen, I could take the whole thing and turn it upside down, man. That's just the way it is. Like, wrestling is not what it used to be. We need that back. You know, we need the Booker T's. We need the Farouks. We need the Stone Colds. You know, we need the Rocks. You know, we need those guys back. We don't have enough of that.
For sure.
Everyone's so bland these days. Yeah, you touched on a little bit that you have a physical education background now, and I know you had mentioned that you had a little bit of a self-confidence issue when you were younger. I believe your physical training helped you get to that point where you are now. Maybe you want to go in a little bit into that, how you got really into being a physical trainer. I remember I saw something you were posting once where you were like, every like that you like this picture, I'll do 5 push-ups. So it sounds like you're a really big guy into those kind of things.
Oh, yeah, I've really gotten headstrong into working out. Because when I was younger, I was really overweight. When I was about 10th grade, I was at like 240 pounds. Whew. And I was like 5'9", 5'10", and I was like, you know what? I really got to do something about this. So I just started playing a lot of basketball, and I really liked the physical activity. I liked doing that strenuous activity. So I just kept doing it. And when I got to college, I lost a lot of weight, but I didn't really have a lot of definition. I was like this in-shape, out-of-shape guy. You know, I had stretch marks all around, and I had like a pouch on my stomach. But, like, I had strong legs, but I had scrawny arms, and I was just, like, really weird looking. So I wanted to do something just to fix myself up and just become more healthy. And, you know, I started getting into, you know, the home fitness workout programs, the DVDs, the Insanities, and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as I started doing that stuff, I fell in love with it. And now I just can't stop. Like, I've done, like, almost every Beachbody program, and I run often. Whenever I get the opportunity, I go ahead and I hit the track, and I do a 1.5, 2-mile run whenever I can. But I just love to work out. And when I got the opportunity to go on this show, I thought, I work out enough. I'm going to go in here and shut it down. But as you may have seen for the last 4 weeks, I had to work a different muscle.
Oh, for sure.
Have you had a chance to do DDP yoga? We're making one last wrestling reference here.
Never heard of it, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, the wrestler Diamond Dallas Page has an excellent video yoga program. I think it's definitely something that you might be interested in.
Wait, he's doing yoga now?
Yeah. He's selling his own yoga program. He developed it himself, and he's actually doing really successful with it. He's going all over the country promoting it, and some of the stories you hear are absolutely amazing. I mean, he's been helping Jake Roberts and Scott Hall, who normally were terribly out of shape, but they had awful alcohol problems, and he's been helping them clean up their act, get back in shape, possibly making like one last return. He helped some guy who was told he was never going to walk again in his life, and now you can see videos of that very same guy running full speed sprint down the road. So it's almost like a miracle worker what this guy's pulling off.
Wow. I'm really going to check that out.
For sure. I've been watching your show for like the past few weeks, and, you know, I seen where it all stemmed to the point where you had to step away from the physical competition part and get more into the mental tactician. In the premiere episode, you walked out and talked to Megan, and then ended up voting for her to go. What triggered your decision to kick her out?
Well, my understanding was this, right? Mm-hmm. If we have 8 guys in a room listening to one woman, you don't necessarily need all 8 ears. I'm in a position where I'm like, you know what? I trust you guys' word. Go ahead. hear what she has to say. I'm going to go ahead and talk to this girl and see what she got to say. So I went out and I spoke to her a little bit, and when I came back, I listened to the guy's arguments, and I thought, all right, well, you know what? I trust what you say. I'm going to go with the group. But someone took advantage of that opportunity and decided to turn it on the head. And when that happened, I thought to myself, all right, so this is the kind of game we're playing. Out of the window with the physical stuff, I'm going to have to get in somebody's head now.
Oh, for sure. And it seems like these guys consistently put you up every week after every challenge. The last episode that aired Monday night after Raw, you were put up, and you weren't even involved in the challenge. And you were put up against one of the only guys you actually felt close to, Justin. What were your thoughts? What was going through your mind as you and Justin were sitting in the room waiting for the decision to be made?
So, I mean, the only thing that was going through my mind is I know they're going to get rid of Justin because, you know, I've heard Justin's story before. You know, I know about the business and the issues that he's going through back home, and I know how much it means to him. And I mean, even I felt like, oh my God, that's so horrible. I should just step down and give you the slot and just voluntarily leave. But on the same token, I'm like, man, I got bills too. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I had to do the best thing I could do, which was reinforce to the women that you put me back over there, I'm a detriment to that team. Whether you like me or not, if I'm that toxic, then I can be toxic enough to help you guys win. And reinforcing that within them helped me to stay there and to keep me going long enough such that, you know, I have another week to fight it out, another week to battle it out, and another week to try and manipulate them some more. I love Justin. That's my dude and everything. You know, a big shout to @Bugle BUGOBLE. Big shout to Justin. But on the same token, I'm there to get the money too, you understand? And when I was in the room with him, you know, I felt a lot of sympathy for him. But on the same token, I'm trying to win too.
Oh, absolutely. And we've seen that this entire group of guys have turned on you. And you, being an audience member and watching this, there's no reason for them to have turned on you. At the same time, you said that at the last episode that they sent the wrong two guys. Being in that position, which two guys would you have sent? In my opinion, it would have been Kyle and Justin since they were the weakest in the challenge. You, to me, should not have been put up at all since you weren't involved.
Right. I mean, had I been in Cameron's position, number one, if you're going to give someone your word and you're going to stick by it, you stick by it. When you allow other people to influence you to violate your word, then you are absolutely worthless to everyone. You lose respect on all levels. When I saw Cameron do that, I was just like, this is exactly why I avoid friendships. If it was up to, in terms of, you know, the competition, friends are friends, and that's what you do when you're home and there's no money involved. When there's money involved, you can get your throat cut really quickly. And if it were up to me, I would have said, you know what, even though you did that horrible, I gave you my word, I told you I got your back, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to put up Mike and I'm going to put up Kyle. Why would you put up Mike and Kyle? Mikey did not get to even participate in the challenge. Kyle was the second weakest link because I gave Justin my word. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to keep my man Justin on team, keep my man Justin on the squad, and I'm going to try to salvage whatever we can because we still haven't seen Mikey perform. We still haven't seen Mikey do what is exceptional above and beyond. If you ask me, Mikey's in the same position as I am, but he's not getting put in that position to be banished.
For sure. And he rightfully has earned that position if you follow the show closely. Just another question to come at, nothing to do with, well, it has something to do with the summer camp show and competition. Who, in your opinion, is the best-looking female in the female camp?
I got to give it to Rachel. Because her attitude as well as her physical attributes give her a just all-around great personality and appearance and everything. Like, she has to be the best-looking, sincerest, nicest person, female on that show. Point blank period.
For
Did
sure.
you get that? Point blank period.
Absolutely. Out of all the challenges that you guys have participated in, or at least I know you backed out of the swimming one because you worked tactics with those guys. Which one by far would be your most favorite competition so far?
I have to say that swimming would be my most favorite, even though I backed out of it, because I actually can swim and I really wanted to, but I just didn't want to put myself in a position where I would either A, show off too much and the girls would actually want to eliminate me, or B, give the guys a reason to eliminate me, which didn't work out in my favor anyway.
For sure. I mean, you go in there and you upstage all those guys, and the girls see that, like, oh, well, he's not working for us anymore, and then the guys see, like, oh, well, we want to get rid of him anyway. That would have been a recipe for disaster for you. So you're definitely playing the game very smart. What would you do if you won the $250,000 prize?
Ooh, man, listen, if I won that $250,000 chunk of change, I would take a big piece of it, call up Citibank and tell them to consolidate these loans so I can break them off a fat stack because I need to get my credit up. For sure. That's if I was in a competition like that, that's probably the first thing that would go for me. College kicked my butt. Oh, yeah. Just out there to our audience out there, anyone who wants to call in, ask some questions, our number is 760-512-7247. Mike Payton will screen your call, get you on here. You can ask Chris Grant some questions from USA Network's summer camp. Payton, you have any questions for him?
Yeah, I'm curious, what path actually led you to being on the reality show Summer Camp? What attracted you saying, hey, this is something I really want to be a part of, and you pursue it?
Well, I'll give you the story. I was at work one day on a prep period. I was on Google. I said, let's see what casting calls are on Google, I'm looking through Google, next thing you know, and I find the Summer Camp casting call. And I'm like, Summer Camp? Let's see, what's this about? You want to go to an idyllic location and battle it out for a six-figure prize? Not bad. Sounds good to me. I mean, anybody could use a little extra money. I filled it out thinking I'd be able to go up there and run and jump and sprint and just, be an all-out athlete kind of thing. And I got the phone call from the producer. They wanted me to come out to California for an interview. I interviewed with them. They loved my personality. They casted me. The next thing you know, I'm in a cabin full of a bunch of men who want me gone.
Were you ever a camper before this? Are you an outdoorsy guy? You grew up in the city, I believe, correct?
Yes. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, so I didn't really have a lot of camp experience. But when I was in 7th grade, which is when I really started to develop my confidence as a funny guy, my 7th grade English teacher, Miss Farber, she actually called me and told me that there was an opportunity for kids to go, underprivileged inner-city youth kids to go to the Britney Spears camp for the performing arts. And so I thought, free trip. Mom gets a break. I get to go away and have fun. Why not? She helped me with the essay. I got help writing like this 3-page essay, which was like extremely long because it was like 8 fonts, no double space or anything. And we get everything down. We submit it. I get a letter about 2 weeks later, and they're telling me they accept me to the camp. And that year, I went to Britney Spears camp for about 10 days, and it was the most amazing experience ever. I think I was about 13 years old. Yeah, I was about 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. I got in there. And it was beautiful. I made so many connections. I developed this confidence, and I knew I was that funny guy. I can do that. I can be that. And I just took it and made it stronger, and I ran with it. And I just loved the camp experience while I was there. I loved the nature, looking up at the stars at night and just seeing the sky light up, watching the moon over the lake, and just hanging out with a bunch of people your age with common interests in the woods, in front of your cabin, just lounging and waking up early in the morning, freezing, and then sweating by 12 o'clock. It was just an amazing experience. And going back to camp again, it was just like so nostalgic. Like all the memories came back. All the fun and games came back. I don't know if you remember last episode on this past Monday when I woke up Kyle banging on the soapbox with the cup. It just, God did that morning because I woke up before everyone. And I showered and everything, and I was just like, I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm 14 again. So I just did the same exact things I did when I was 14 with the pranks. Picked up the soapbox, started banging on it and screaming in the middle of the morning, just waking everybody the hell up. And I had a ball doing it.
So speaking of Monday nights, the show originally aired, I believe it was on Thursday nights previously, and they swapped it to the Monday Night Raw post spot, which is always a huge showcasing spot for USA. That's where they debuted Burn Notice. That's where they had like Dr. Steve-O try to get it start. When you found out, being a former wrestling fan yourself, did this make you really gassed? Were you super excited when you found out you were going to that time slot?
At first, it didn't hit me because I'm thinking to myself,
11 o'clock, you know, my work mind is kicking in, adult brain is kicking in. I'm like, 11 o'clock, what the hell? Nobody's going to be awake. But then someone said, dude, that's right after wrestling. I was like, oh, that's right. Wrestling comes on, and then after wrestling, everybody will still have TV on, so I'm pretty sure we can just pull all the viewers from WWE into summer camp. And, I mean, just being able to have to wait for summer camp to come on at 11 o'clock, I got to watch wrestling again, and watching wrestling just brought back a whole bunch of memories. Like, I was just like, wow, this is interesting. Where's The Rock when you need him?
Yeah.
Oh, he was just there.
So yeah, exactly. So, you know, I was surprised at first, but then I thought this is really going to be a great thing for us because it allows a bunch of people who wouldn't normally watch USA on any other night to just continue to keep the TV rolling and check out what happens afterwards. And we might just offshoot into, like, a completely different time slot and maybe even get another season and maybe even do some more things. So I think this is a great position for us to be in right now. I think we're attracting an entirely different demographic of viewers, and this is really going to catapult us into a position that we're looking forward to being in.
Great. I know you can't go too deep into too many other things you got planned for your future, but what are you hoping to see all this parlay into for you? Where are you hoping to be 5 years from now? Is this all you really aspire to do with your television career, and you're just going to stick with the teaching thing, or do you have plans maybe to want to do something else someday?
Well, let me tell you something about the teaching thing real quick. I was just talking about this earlier today, and teaching is an excellent, excellent profession. I mean, it takes a lot of guts, patience,
highly underappreciated
time
these
and
days.
dedication. Very much so. And in New York, you get paid a decent amount of money to teach, whereas in other states, you get paid like a very menial amount. So I respect teaching, and I think teaching is a very dignified position. However, the type of person that I am, I find that I cannot stop at teaching. I have to excel. I have to go beyond that. I have to get higher than that. And with this position that I'm in now, I really want to see where it takes me. I don't look 5 years into the future. I don't like to plan too far ahead because I don't want to stress myself into something that isn't in existence yet. I live day to day, and I see what each particular circumstance can get me into for the next day. And you know, I really live day to day. I really don't like to look too far ahead. So with this in particular, I plan on seeing what happens to me within the following month. And within the following month, I'm looking for another TV slot. I'm not going to go in detail what that's going to be. All I'm going to say is the haters really going to be mad at my next move. That's all I'm going to say.
So certainly keep Googling the name Chris Grant is what you're saying, because it's likely to be popping up again.
That's right. I don't quit. I can't stop, and I won't stop.
All right, Chris, I'm at the end of my line of questioning here, and I believe Chris Dace is at his too, but I want to give you a minute or a couple minutes here just to say whatever else you want to say, plug anything else you want to get out there.
Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to tune in every Monday at 11:05 p.m. after Raw Eastern Time. The show is just getting started. If you hate me now, please prepare to hate me some more, because you're either going to love me or you're going to can't stand my guts. And no matter which one you pick, it makes me feel great inside because I'm going to continue to entertain you. On another note, I do stand-up comedy. Look for me in the future. I will be setting up some stand-up shows in the city around 48th Street. On my Twitter, at macaroni_Tony. That's macaroni, MACARONI_TONEY. That's the Instagram. That's the Twitter. You can follow me on Facebook at Chris Grant also. Stay tuned. Don't miss out on me. Don't sleep on me, because apparently the guys are sleeping on me and it's not working out for them.
Once again, thank you so much for joining our show. On behalf of everybody here at the Dace Man Show and everybody at Mega Powers Radio, it has been a pleasure and a good time to have you here, Chris. You're welcome to stop by anytime you want. I'm pulling for you in the whole show, and I'm definitely going to tune in. Make sure everybody tunes in Monday night immediately following Raw, Summer Camp on USA Network. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Grant.
Thanks for having me, my brother. And, hey, let me tell you this one more time. If we could survive 400 years of slavery, I could survive summer camp, baby.
For sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Grant, thank you so much for joining the show.
My man. Take care, baby.
Thanks, Chris. Good night, man.
Bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Graham from USA Summer Network. Make sure you USA Network Summer Camp. Make sure you tune in every Monday night after Raw. It's a great show. I enjoy it. I truly do. It started off slow for me, and Chris has definitely become one of the characters that, like, he's the pot stirrer. He's a tactician. He could win this thing, and I kind of hope he does because he's very entertaining. Great guy. I'm so glad he called into the show.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing kind of fell in my lap, actually. We had a mutual friend that I saw her mention his name in a status update on Facebook. I was like, wait a second, is she talking about a guy that's on the show? And I checked out his profile, and sure enough, it was there. So this whole thing just kind of fell in my lap, and I was like, oh, let me see if I can get an interview with him. And I didn't know where exactly to put him because most of the shows on this network are, of course, wrestling shows and video game related. So I was like, I know you talk about celebrities sometimes, so I figured this is the perfect place to bring him. And I think it was a great fit. I think that was a great interview. I was happy he came.
Oh, absolutely. It was fun, and he fit perfectly into the show. He's very entertaining. I would actually like to go see him do stand-up comedy once he gets that rocking and rolling. But it's perfect because he came in just as we were ending celebrity news, and he left just as we're ready to do the Dace Man's High Five, and this week's High Five is going to be top 5 reality shows.
Top 5 for the big dog.
So I've gone and listed my top 5 reality shows, and I'm going to start off with one that's just kind of merging them all together, but I really enjoyed MTV's Real World / Road Rules Challenges. I used to watch CBS's Big Brother. Anything with Gordon Ramsay will instantly grab my attention because when he yells piss off at people, it's hilarious. At Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef made my list. And Summer Camp. It's really growing on me after watching this, starting to watch this show and follow it to see how Chris was doing to prepare for the interview and everything. I'm hooked, and I know I'm going to follow this through to the end of the season. And I could possibly pick it up the second season, especially if he's back. Mr. Payton, what are your favorite reality shows?
Professional wrestling.
Oh, there you go.
I've been a long time proponent of the argument that reality TV owes pretty much everything it has to professional wrestling. I mean, it borrowed so many things from it. The whole guise of competition and drama added at a very, I don't want to use the word produced, but controlled environment, and always doing it under the guise that everything is 100% legit, which, some of it is, but some of it's also not. But it's always portrayed as 100% real. And it's funny because a lot of people, I guess we'll call them reality show marks, haven't caught on to that fact yet. So they're kind of like how wrestling fans were in, like, the 60s.
For sure. Any other ones that you want to throw onto the list? I don't know if Gibby.
I don't know if I would count these as necessarily reality shows, but I mean, a lot of those, like, competition-type shows that you used to see on, like, Discovery, like the Junkyard Wars, and I can't even think of any other ones. Stuff like that. I like that. Another one I saw that I kind of liked was Kevin Smith's comic book show that he had. I think it was called The Secret Stash. That one was a fun one. Well, mostly because of the characters and some of the interactions they had when people would come in with really random geeky items. That was fun to watch, but it was also very formulaic. It got old kind of quick.
Comic Book Ben, right? Came on after
Comic
Walking
Book
Dead.
Ben. Yes, that's it.
I actually would watch that because there was another AMC was smart and positioned that after a show I watched. Gibby, do you like any reality shows? I know how you're feeling. You were very quiet on the interview, and I thank you for that.
I hate reality shows. That's just a fact of life. I don't get them. That's my problem. I'm with the camp that it's all pretty much staged, and then it drives me crazy when people actually think it's real, and it's probably the same reason why wrestling gets to me sometimes too, because some people just think it's real, and it's just like it is nowhere near real.
I will
they will defend it tooth and nail that this is real, and he really got hit in the face.
In wrestling's defense, how many Saturdays have you come over to my house and I can't move after I've done a show?
That's because you're an idiot, but that's a different story.
I've got bruises on me now from our recent night show that had occurred this past Saturday, which I got my ass handed to me because I was winded and out of shape.
Or you just got done a power hour less than 12 hours ago. I mean, that couldn't have affected you at all, I don't think.
Well, I've quit drinking again because of that, and I've learned my lesson.
No, you didn't.
But thank you again for being quiet during the show. I know you are one of the most opinionated people here at Mega Powers, and I thank you for getting a sandwich.
I try.
And what we're going to do now is I should probably play our clip. Or not.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it won't play.
For the big dog.
Wow, way to lag our exit there, Mr. Blog Talk Radio. What we're going to roll into now is that we actually have a competition. I have happened to have 2 tickets to the Backstreet Boys concert August 16th at the Susquehanna Bank Center, lawn seats, and I'm willing to give them away because, there's only one of me, so I don't need 4 tickets. So I've got 2 tickets to the lawn seats. So here's the thing. We were just debating how to do this kind of competition. So because we're awesome people, myself and Gibby and here at the show, we've come up with the fact that during one of our shows, we talked about favorite comic book movies that have been produced or comic books produced into movies. So the question we're asking the audience, and if you get this answer right, we specifically here on the panel ripped Senior Gibson for... It
was still a great show, a great TV movie. I'm just saying.
You're also the guy that bags wrestling. What movie did Mr. Gibson say was in his top 5 that he immediately got ripped for? Answer that question. You can either call, I guess if somebody calls in and answers it right now, I'll give them the tickets at 760-512-7247. Or if not, if we ended up ending the show before someone answers the question, send the answer to the Dace Man Show at gmail.com, and next week we'll pick a random winner out of the answers to see who will get the tickets. Like I said, you've got to the end of the show, which we have the douchebag of the week, and then we're going to wrap up with our plugs. To call in at 760-512-7247. And the question once again is, which movie did Brian Gibson pick for favorite comic book movie adaptation that everybody on the panel immediately ripped him for? And you will win yourself 2 lawn seats to the Backstreet Boys concert August 16th at the Susquehanna Bank Center. I'll be there. Gibby will be there. There'll be a couple other people there that we know, and I don't know if we're going to actually try to do a live show there or not, but we'll definitely be there covering at fanboysanonymous.com. Once again, 760-512-7247. If you know the answer, call in now. What movie did Gibby pick as his comic book adaptation favorite, and we ripped him for? If you don't get it now, just email the answer to the DaceManShow at gmail.com. And that...
And just for my sake, please input into there how you felt about said movie. I'm thinking I'm not the only one that liked this movie.
Oh, I really think you are, hands down. Also, if you can, if you email us, put your name in there so we can know who to announce as the winner on the show, and then we'll get you the tickets. And preferably, anybody can answer the question. We'll give you the tickets, but try to be in the Camden area. If you're listening to the show in Seattle, you're really not going to be able to go to the shows, so I don't know why you would call and try to get the tickets, unless you're going to buy them and sell them, because the Backstreet Boys are the hottest shit ever. But
and the back. All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun.
Oh, we actually have a call. So, caller, go ahead. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Oh, no.
Do you know the answer?
Was it Daredevil?
No, I'm sorry. You're wrong.
All right. I don't actually watch your show. I was just really hoping it wasn't Daredevil.
Victor would be happy with your answer.
Daredevil sucked. Can we just talk that Daredevil sucked at least?
No, we don't want to talk about that.
No, I'm with the caller. Daredevil was pretty terrible. What a blind superhero was not interesting. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
Bye, Frank.
Gay!
Oh, what? That wasn't nice.
He didn't log off yet, so he could technically respond. Oh, there he goes. He's gone. Oh God! If Gibby would have picked Daredevil, we would have ripped him for that too.
Yeah.
But it was not Daredevil. So there you go. You can call in. We're going to roll into the douchebag of the week. Call number is 760-512-7247. Good try, Frank. It looks like you're going to have to purchase your Backstreet Boys tickets. And let's roll in to the douchebag of the week.
You're a douchebag. Douchebag.
So, Gibby, am I going to take this, or are you going to take it?
I'll let you take it.
Okay, so the douchebag of the week goes to... Okay, the douchebag of the week goes to a man that we already talked about previously in the show, and probably the rest of New York feels this way about him, too, about this point. Alex Rodriguez, you, sir, are the douchebag of the week. The reason you're a douchebag of the week is because you have been caught up in this biogenesis scandal, and you are denying it through the T, where everybody else has not. And they have accepted their 50-game penalty and went on with the suspension. You, sir, are a money-grubbing fiend that refuses to let go of your playing time for the New York Yankees, even though everybody in the city, everybody in MLB, and everybody around the world realizes you're through. So the only good thing you got going for you is you're banging Tori Wilson. And that makes me hate you even more, because Tori Wilson should be my girl. Gibby, want to tap in?
I mean, I completely have to agree with you. I mean, how can you still defend? It is so obvious. It's so stacked against you. I don't understand what he's trying to accomplish. He's getting suspended. The more he fights it, the longer his suspension is. The longer his suspension is, the less likely he's going to ever be able to play again. Yet he keeps fighting it. I just don't get it. Does he really think in his deluded mind he's actually going to win?
It's got to be. He's hit at a point where when you become a Yankee, it's a certain level of status, and I understand this because the Yankees it's baseball. Everybody who doesn't know baseball knows the Yankees. Everybody who does know baseball hates the Yankees. And the fact of the matter is that they have ascended to such a level that players on there get the largest egos ever. And Alex Rodriguez, for a man who I don't think has played that much in the past 2 years, has one of the largest egos ever. So for him to sit there and think he can skate by and not get caught on this, well, the fact is he probably legitimately believes he could get away with it. I can almost guarantee that.
I have to. It's almost to the point where I'm almost thinking that that's what it is. I mean, I just feel like he has to have some humility out there and realize that he's.
Nope.
I don't know what to say. It's like, really?
Nope.
Nope.
Not today.
Not today, man. Not today.
Peyton, do you want to jump into the A-Rod hate club?
I wish I had more to give. I mean, I am a lifelong Yankees hater, having been a person who's grown up in the greater New York City area. I mean, I'm not right next to it, but I'm about 45 minutes away from it in the state of New York. So, of course, everybody around me is a Yankees fan. I grew up in a Mets family. Matter of fact, my grandparents were both actually Giants fans and Dodgers fans. So, fittingly, when they left town, they became Mets fans, and of course my father was a big Mets fan, brought me to many games when I was a youngin'. So I have no love for the Yankees, and of course no love for the Yankees players. And A-Rod being one of those focused guys, I'm kind of happy to see him take a fall. I'm kind of happy to see the Yankees in general take a fall because, as you said, everything evolving around, even their fans get unwarranted egos, and everything needs to be taken down a peg, and hopefully this is the start of it for that. I'm kind of vindictive with that. That's not really nice. But it's just horrible. All these people who are just Yankees fans just because they win. I mean, these are the same kind of people that if they were alive through the 80s, they would have been Mets fans, just because that's when the Mets were winning and the Yankees were a bunch of losers.
Oh, absolutely. Yankees, it's more of a fashion line now, too, when it comes to things, because I see girls walking around with Yankees who couldn't name you a damn player on it except for Jeter because he's on the Gillette commercial. So it's like... I don't mean to put the Yankees on blast because we have a friend that's a good Yankees fan, and
he's a failure. A failure.
I mean, I would watch a Yankees game. I'm a fan of baseball, but when it comes to Alex Rodriguez, I think he's gotten to the point where he needs to go. He is just generating too much negative press for the Yankees. He's generating too much negative press for him, and he just doesn't seem to care. There are so many other people who try so hard to get to baseball in the major leagues, and he just doesn't care.
And from what I understand, the suspension he's getting is going to be a paid suspension. So he's still going to be one of the highest paid players in baseball while sitting out. No, that's not true?
No, he's not going to get paid.
But
then never mind.
I think that's one of the main things he's actually fighting for as well, because he wants to get paid during the suspension.
This is the only scenario where the Yankees would be like, yeah, he did it. He totally did it.
Exactly.
Make him sit out. We're good without him. We're good. But you, sir, Alex Rodriguez, are the douchebag of the week.
You're a douchebag. Douchebag.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up the Dace Man Show, Episode 7. It was a big one. Once again, thank you, Chris Grant, for calling in. Watch USA Network Summer Camp immediately following Raw. Great guest, great guy, and he's pretty funny. Let's roll into plugs. Let's start with Mr. Mike Payton.
Well, everyone please keep listening in here on Mega Powers Radio. We have so many cool things going on here right now. Tonight was a big, big show for us. Our first guest that we had on the network, first of many, I hope, going on all different shows. I know Mr. Burhan is working to get someone really cool on I Got Gameplay, which airs every Saturday night here on Mega Powers Radio. So if you're a video game person, certainly tune in for that, Saturdays at 8 p.m. We also have Geek Speak on Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights at 8 p.m., I should say specifically. That's where we just talk anything random going on in nerd culture. Right now, I'm actually trying to get Tommy Wiseau is my goal for that. I really want to get Tommy Wiseau on the show. So that's something I probably shouldn't even say that because it's probably absolutely impossible to do. But that's my goal. So if someone out there, if you have a connection to Tommy Wiseau and you can help make that happen, please. That's a huge, huge goal for me right now. Tommy Wiseau on Geek Speak. If you're a wrestling fan, we got all types of stuff going on in this station if you're a wrestling fan. I mean, for God's sake, we're called Mega Powers Radio. If you're a wrestling fan, you know what the Mega Powers are. If you're not, look it up because Mega Powers were a pretty big deal, and so are we. Monday night, following the conclusion of Raw. If you're not watching Summer Camp, which you probably should if you want to support that awesome show, but if you're a bigger wrestling fan than you are a reality show fan, we have a Monday Night Raw post show here on Mega Powers Radio, where we join together with a bunch of people and talk about that evening's events, and of course take your calls. All these shows take your calls, which is really neat here on Blog Talk Radio. And we also have Keeping Kayfabe, which is another show I host on Thursday nights, where we talk more about wrestling's past. We pick a match from the past and go in depth about what happened in it. And every pay-per-view that happens from WWE on Sundays, we do a pre-show starting at 6:30. The next one coming up is on the 18th of this month for SummerSlam. So be sure to join us for that. I feel like I always talk so much when I'm pushing that. But yeah, just keep listening to Mega Powers Radio. blogtalkradio.com/Mega Powers Radio. Big things popping, little things stopping. Chris Dace, thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting this whole thing go down. Really fun show.
Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. Mr. Gibson, anything to plug?
The other thing I would say is if you guys have any comments about the show, you can always contact us through our email, thedacemanshow.com, or what is it, at gmail.com.
Yes. Yeah, way to mess up your only plug.
Hey, I'm trying. I'll definitely probably be the main one looking at those, and I'll be forwarding it on to pretty much anyone that's on the show.
Cool. Yep. We could do like a mailbag type thing. Check it out, thedacemanshow@gmail.com. Thank you, sir. Anything else?
Just so you know, Dace is spelled D-A-C-E. I don't know how hard it is to spell Dace, but you never know nowadays.
People like to throw an N in there and call it Dance. So YouTube consistently tries to correct my own name. I'm like, I know what my name is. Stop telling me it's Dance.
I don't know. I question it now. I'm learning something. Learning.
From Dace Man's end, September 7th, we begin our weekly Saturday shows back at Old Time Wrestling in Williamstown, New Jersey, at 2 p.m. bell time. Yours truly will be wrestling every Saturday with an all-star roster. Come out, see us, enjoy the show. Tickets $10 for adults, $5 for kids. Check them out at oldtimewrestling.net. And coming up the weekend of August 22nd, 23rd, 24th, I think it's in that area. That weekend will be Abby's Clash for the Canines, where Synergy.com will produce an 24/7 on-air video game frenzy. Call in, donate, win prizes. It's an awesome thing. Check them out at synergycomic.com. Also, just a reminder before we end the show, you can always follow me at the Dace Man on Twitter. Once again, watch Summer Camp on USA Network. Immediately following Raw, Chris Grant was on the show tonight. Great guest. And for our prize that we will announce the winner next week, since nobody called in and got it, the only guy who called in was Frank, and he got it wrong. Remember, the question is, during one of our previous shows, we had the Dace Man's High Five, which was favorite comic book movie adaptation. There was one choice that Mr. Brian Gibson made that immediately got him ripped by the entire panel. We know the answer we're looking for. Email it to us at the DaceManShow@gmail.com. Once again, that's the DaceManShow@gmail.com. And next week we'll announce our winner live on air, and if not, we'll just take the first caller if nobody answers the question. So I don't want the tickets.
Wow.
Well, I'm already going, so I already have my tickets. I'll be there. You can check me out. I'll be the guy that is probably driving everyone since I'm on a strict diet where I can't have anything but
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
You're drinking.
I can't drink.
Yes,
I'm
you
trying
are.
to get in better shape. I'm trying to be a better person.
No, you're not. You are such a bad person.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Brian Gibson, Mike Payton, our special guest tonight, Chris Grant from USA Network Summer Camp, thank you for joining us. Remember, catch us every Wednesday, 8 p.m. This has been the Dace Man Show for the few, the proud, and as always, the Dace-tacular.